Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. Our topic has had a resounding "I love this topic" from our wonderful full-time panelist, Reverend Lydia Fougeres, breaking the cycle from family peacemaker to self-healer. I'm Caroline Heward. I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured to be representing Dr. Jacqueline as your host for USA Global TV and Radio's flagship show, A Woman's Prerogative. I'm a TV presenter and also the resident therapist for USA Global TV and Radio. A very warm welcome to all our loyal viewers and our friends at E360 TV. Hello to all of our friends on our usual social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn and X. Dr. Jacqueline, our founder and president of USA Global TV and Radio, has been awarded the coveted YouTube Silver Creator Award, achieving over 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Our first channel, the award-winning channel, has now got over 106,000 subscribers, and our second channel has over 35,000 subscribers, and altogether that totals over 43,000 subscribers. I think that's right. So thank you to all of our subscribers and those who are loyal to our channels. Keep tuning in, keep watching, because we are sharing some amazing content. I am sharing this show with our wonderful full-time panelist, Reverend Lydia Fougeres. She is all the way from Canada, and she is also a TV presenter on our show, on our channel in her own right. She runs and hosts a channel in French. She is an author of bilingual self-help. She's a registered nurse. She's a holistic nurse. She's an intuitive and spiritual healer. She invented Miracle Mist, which is patent pending, and she's an advocate for free rights. Please welcome to our panel and our show tonight, Reverend Lydia Fougeres.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
It's nice to be here.
It's wonderful to have you here, Reverend Lydia. It always is. Please do share with our viewers a little bit about who you are and how you help people.
Well, I do help people as a reverend because I do visit, I do help. I celebrate weddings. I also help immigrants adapt to Canada. I help them with housing also. I do programs that have to do with mental problems because I was a registered nurse. I worked in psychiatry. So I do help people with mental problems, but also with problems of the heart. So since I am a spiritual healer, I do help them with problems of the heart. So I'm a minister and I am a healer also with many problems. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Always a fountain of knowledge and a fountain of self-help and self-wisdom as well as learnt wisdom. I'm always honoured to share this show and this platform with Reverend Lydia because she has insightful shares and we are fairly similar. So it almost feels like sometimes I'm talking with a mirror of myself in terms of what we think and how we work our way around problems. For myself, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help people bust their stress. How do I do that? I work with root cause therapy and chakra psychology, how the mind and body connects, and what happens to the person physically, emotionally, mentally, behaviorally when there's an imbalance. And the imbalance is the symptom. Sometimes people walk around and say, I'm not stressed, but then they're complaining they're not sleeping, they're complaining about a physical ache and pain, or they're feeling anxious, or they're not happy in a relationship, or they have an intimacy or anger management issue. So that's how it's manifesting in their life. And we have a revolving door of repeat patterns. And I help all my clients break through with a very simple process what's created their problems by identifying the root cause of what created their problem in the first place, which alleviates the specific symptom and gives them an incredible night's sleep, and also gives them an emotional release that moves them into a place of inner peace. I also do lunch and learn events, and I'm a speaker both on stage, online, and in person. I'm also a Talking Heads expert on the channel, one of 5 Talking Heads experts, and I do my show once a month on a Thursday, the last Thursday of the month. So let's move into the topic, breaking the cycle from family peacekeeper to self-healer. In every family, there's one person that tends to be a peacekeeper. They smooth over tensions and they keep everyone together, and they carry the emotional weight of the harmony. So what happens when they have a lifelong identity of being the peacemaker, shaping relationships? It shapes their choices. It also affects their health. So we're going to explore tonight the toll on being the family peacemaker and why it goes into adulthood, and how to break the cycle to become more self-aware and become a self-healer, restoring balance within their own lives and within their families. So this is a big topic, and we probably won't be able to cover tons within the show, but we're going to start opening the conversation. We're going to explore this topic in as deep as we can, because this affects many, many people. So, Reverend Lydia, from your perspective, what do you feel shapes someone into becoming the family peacemaker?
What shapes is, well, there's a lot of things that shapes it. First of all, is their rank in the family. Usually the eldest of the girls is the peacemaker in the family, is the one that takes care of things. It is usually the one that is the eldest that takes care of the problems. They are always there to listen, to take care of things, to take care of whatever has been forgotten by other family members. And that is when they become the peacekeeper, the one that is always walking on eggshells because they want peace to be there between family members. So that is when one becomes a peacekeeper in the family.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. I'd agree with everything that you've said there. And during my research of the topic, it actually identified that the middle sibling is usually the peacekeeper. And me being the eldest sibling, I have known of the eldest sibling being a peacemaker, as well as sometimes the youngest sibling. But as the narratives and the storybooks go in terms of the reference material, they say that generally it is the middle sibling, because they are in the middle and can see what the elder sibling is up to and what the younger sibling is up to, and they can mediate between the two. But my feeling from a personal perspective is I'm the eldest sibling, and I would say that I'm the peacemaker within my family. And from that perspective, I feel that it can be very individual. It can be the youngest, it can be the eldest, and it can be the middle child. But in terms of, I feel that the peacemaker, they would have a natural emotional intelligence of wanting to keep harmony and feeling a discomfort in conflict. And so they will feel an emotional charge when there is a discomfort for them with a family argument, and they will seek to create a peaceful space for themselves as well as their siblings and their parents. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
Hello.
Well, what I do.
Hello.
Hello.
Wonderful to have you on the show, Dr. Jacqueline. So tell us, I was just about to pose that question to Reverend Lydia, but you clearly have something that you want to tell us. So please do share your perspective.
I do. Please excuse me for bopping in, but look how we all have the sun over our head. We look like we're wearing a crown of joy and sunlight. So what I wanted to say was I really agree with both of you. And just this Saturday, I took an oath as a peace ambassador. It was pretty emotional. And we have these 5 peace tasks. And I thought this might be really something that could help people, whether you're in families or not. So may I share it?
Yes, of course,
Yeah.
please.
So this is something to empower people. It's from World Citizen Peace, and that's where I first became a peace ambassador. But I took this oath through PEPNET, Peace and Education Practice Network. So 5 peace actions, whether you're in a family or not. Seek peace within yourself and others. Start with you. Reach out in service. Protect the environment. Respect diversity, and be a responsible corporate citizen. Citizen of the world. Be a responsible citizen of the world. So I think when it comes to families, if whether you're the oldest, you're the middle, you're the youngest, whatever it is that you are, if we all adapted these practices, I think that we'd be able to find more peace within and therefore bring more peace without and throughout the family.
I'm so in agreement with that, because that's where it lies. If there's no peace within you, then the turmoil that you experience personally will be a reflection in your external world. So if there's upset, or if there's a conflict within you on a specific aspect of what's going on, whether it be family, relationship, a friendship, or within a working environment, that will display itself. And you'll be able to see, because your external world is your feedback. It's how we know whether the internal world is okay. What are your thoughts on that, Reverend Lydia?
I do think we have to be happy with ourselves to be happy with the rest of the world. So because happiness is within, and we shine from inside to out. So the thing is that, when we are happy and we feel we can help, that is when we can be peace ambassadors, when we can help diversity, when we can help others. That is the way we can bring peace to others. If we have peace inside, we can bring peace to others. Not the other way around.
I totally agree with you. And I also wanted to share on top of that the peacemaker within the family will be filling some kind of a void within the family. So if there is a lot of conflict within the family situation and the setup of the parents and the siblings, there will be a void, and the person that becomes the family peacemaker will naturally step and make that void disappear. So it'll be an unconscious movement from that perspective of them wanting to create peace, because they recognize and they see the emotional dysfunction. So, Reverend Lydia, how early in life do you think that children take on this role, and what do you feel the signs are?
I do think they take the role. They are around 3 years old, 4 years old. They already do it. They see there is something wrong and it's in them to take that role. So they do it as fast as they can. The minute they see there's something wrong, they take the role. So that is pretty much when they do take the role. And it is the way it is. They they do not really have a choice because someone has to do it anyways in the family. So they think to themselves, I might as well do it, because if they want peace, they have to bring peace, because it is the peaceful person that actually wants peace around. So that is the way it happens.
I'm so in agreement with you on the fact that it's very young. You know, I would say that it's preschool or even earlier. So your summation of 3 years old is probably about right in terms of the fact that the child will feel an uncomfortableness and they will have an emotional consciousness about the fact that they're not happy in that space of conflict. And what they will do is they will distract the attention by maybe changing the subject. They might even become quite sensitive to something that's brewing. They'll see the signs of something that's kind of about to rear up. So they will probably go quiet to stop the conflict happening. And the other thing that I would say about the signs of the peacemaker within the family, they will naturally become the mediator of the family. They will naturally look at and see both sides. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
Yes, they will be the mediator. They will try to make things fine, but at a point, what happens is that when there's too much turmoil, that person that is at peace will detach also from the family if it is too much. Because what happens is that they have to choose their peace or their peace. If you understand I know you understand what I mean. So we have to decide, am I going to choose my peace or their peace? If a person is at peace and sees only turmoil around them, and they have tried for decades and decades, they have to take a decision, and they have to come to a point where they actually decide for themselves, will I choose my peace or their peace? Which is the most difficult choice that someone can have to make, because it's some kind of a super divorce of a group. So you lose many people because the thing is that you wanted peace and tried for so many years, and then you could not succeed because it was, you had to start over all over again every single week, every single month. You had to start over again, and there was always a situation. So someone that actually tries to make peace with everyone becomes exhausted.
I'm nodding here in the background saying, yes, that's absolutely right. And you're coming into my next question about negative and positives about being a person that becomes the peacemaker within the family. But we've just tipped into 7:20 British summertime. So we are now due for our short commercial break. But please come back and join us and find out more about our exploration of breaking the cycle from family peacemaker to self-healer. I look forward to seeing you, whether you're on the live or the replay after the short commercial break. And many, many huge thanks to Reverend Lydia for her insightful shares, and our wonderful Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, who is the producer, the president, and the extraordinary visionary of this channel. I will see you very shortly. Over now to our short commercial break.
What if one simple skill could change the way you connect with the world? What if listening could open doors to deeper relationships, stronger businesses, and a better you? Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the Listening Mentor, brings you USA Global TV and Radio, a space where voices are heard, ideas are shared, and global communities thrive. Through the elevated listeners' courses and books, you'll master the power of listening, set boundaries with confidence, and transform conversations into opportunities. Join us. Listen, learn, elevate. Whether you're a leader, a coach, a business owner, or someone seeking stronger connections, your journey starts today. Subscribe, learn, and transform today.
Hello and welcome back to A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. If you've just joined us, whether you're on the live or the replay and have missed the part before the commercial break, please do catch up on the replay. We have been exploring breaking the cycle from family peacemaker to self-healer. And we have also had our wonderful president and executive producer and owner of this channel, USA Global TV and Radio, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, even join in the conversation. Let's get back our full-time panelist and wonderful Reverend Lydia Fougeres all the way from Canada so that we can continue exploring this amazing topic. So Reverend Lydia, just before the break, I mentioned the next question. Is being a peacemaker a negative experience, or can it be a strength, or is it positive? So my perspective on being the peacemaker within my own family, and that was something that I just saw, that when there was conflict or when there was an upset, my mum or my dad, whoever it was with, they would talk to me, or one of my brothers would talk to me, and then I would sort of see a different perspective, and then I would share that, and I would always be trying to smooth things out. And I feel that the rationale for what I did when I was younger, and I would go in and break up fights, there would be children, young boys fighting outside with fists and, hitting each other. I probably wouldn't do it now. And I would go and break it up and say, come on, make friends. This is not worth it. Maybe today, if I did it, it would be a different matter because there's lots of knives being used. But I didn't feel anything about my own safety. I just wanted to stop the conflict. And that gave me strength to see a perspective from keeping the peace and making people stay friends rather than being arch enemies. So from my perspective, it was definitely a positive thing, and it kept me calm, and yet it gave me some negative experiences in terms of always feeling I was on call or treading on eggshells to keep the peace. What are your thoughts about what I've just shared, Reverend Lydia? And do you have anything to add in terms of your thoughts about it being a positive or negative experience?
It is both. And if I may, I will give an example of being the peacekeeper. In my career, we are talking about maybe 35 years ago. There was a room where there was a German person, and there was a person that was in a Nazi camp, but they were in their 80s. And believe it or not, they hated themselves so much that they were throwing things at one another. And I went in the room and I made sure that they needed one another to make sure that they had to make peace. They became the best friends ever. So you can see that being a peacekeeper is all the time. You seek every situation to be a peacekeeper. not only in your family, you do it on the street, you do it everywhere. But I will always remember that situation about those two men that were throwing things at one another and finally became the best friends ever. Never forget.
What an amazing example of turning around the conflict, the internal conflict of two people, into a place of acceptance. And you've shared a perfect example of working towards a resolution and reconciliation. That's exactly what they've done. They found a place where they both aligned and found a place of peace and a place of agreement to be mutually compassionate to each other. And one of the things I wanted to share is one of the skills of being an extraordinary peacemaker, whether it's in a family situation or within a world situation or indeed within a work environment, is listening skills and finding solutions and being empathic in their skills and compassionate. And what you've just shared is all of those things, that they were listening, they were bringing the things that belong to both parties so they could see the bigger picture. And you also demonstrated the fact that when they're in conflict, there is a rejection and a misunderstanding. And yet when there was a reconciliation and a coming together, a mutual, respectful, emotional connection, all that conflict dissipated. That's a beautiful example. Thank you so much for sharing that example, Reverend Lydia, because it brought everything in together in terms of what is a good peacemaker. So just looking at the mental and emotional health of the peacemaker, the unseen emotional and physical costs that are of keeping the peace for the peacemaker within a family. You've mentioned earlier on today in the show about burnout, which is because you're on tenterhooks. You said walking on eggshells. That's exactly what they're doing. They're walking on eggshells because they don't know what's going to erupt in the next moment. It could be a wrong word, a wrong tone, and it could be that the other person is feeling frustrated, which sends them into you're not listening. One of the things that comes up for me is that as a peacemaker, I always felt a level of anxiety, and then at times a level of resentment because I felt like I was dismissing my own needs. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
I do think the same as you. And it came to a point where I had to leave because I chose myself. And it was difficult. Instead of going burnout, I decided to leave. That is all. So that is the way I decided to love myself. And it was one of the most difficult situations I'd ever faced, to leave the environment that was so toxic, where I always had to bring peace. And finally, I left that kind of environment where I always had to work to bring peace to all parties.
That's a brave step and a big decision, because when the peacemaker leaves, then what happens to the people that are left within the environment? There is no peacemaker to keep it all together. You mentioned something that is prevalent to the peacemaker, and that is their boundaries get walked all over because they have very loose boundaries, because there's no respectfulness of their own boundaries within the peacemaking situation, because they're always considering and thinking about the other people within the mix. One of my thoughts about that is that, and I certainly can say this for myself, that it brings up a fear of confrontation. And because of this need to keep the peace, there is a lack of feeling comfortable in confrontational situations. And so, as from my personal perspective, I see a lot of peacemakers almost avoid the confrontation and suppress feelings of inadequacy or uncomfortableness about conflict, which then distorts their own self-worth and creates negativity in terms of their stress and anxiety. Do you have any thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
Yes, absolutely. I know that as a peacemaker, I am a person that does not argue at all. I am a person that I will just let go of the subject. I will just abandon the situation. And that is all. I always say to myself, will I be at Christmas the same day as everyone else? And my answer is always yes. So I just let go and I agree to disagree. So that is the way I am. As the peacemaker, I choose to have peace and not to argue for any reason whatsoever. I do not like arguments.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Dr. Jacqueline, you've joined us again.
Hello. I'm just loving this conversation. I just wanted to share one thing in reference to setting boundaries, because what you were both talking about, I know for me, I found as I've gotten older, I have an issue being with groups of people. So if it's more than two other people, so me and two others, for some reason, the noise, I don't know, it just starts to bother me. So I will set a boundary so that I can be peaceful and so that I can bring in good energy, because we can always feel when someone has that negative energy. And so I'll say, I'm happy to attend this event, but I want to let you know at any moment I could leave. So I might be here and then I might be gone, and I don't want you to take offense to it, but I'd love to enjoy your company until it feels like I need to leave for my own peacefulness. So I just wanted to share that and see what you both thought about that.
That's really insightful, and that's a boundary. You know, you're setting your boundary and you're saying, this is what I'm happy with, and then when it gets too much, I'm going to leave. And it's nobody's fault. It's your comfortableness. You're saying, this is my comfort. And it's not really to do with the others did something. This is your comfort level. And this is where you are knowing yourself well enough to say what feels right for you.
Exactly. Thanks for letting me drop in again.
Well, you're more than welcome. This is obviously a fascinating topic. And I really appreciate I really appreciate Dr. Jacqueline's input. So, Reverend Lydia, do you have any thoughts or comments to share about what Dr. Jacqueline's just shared, or myself?
Well, I am exactly like Dr. Jacqueline. I actually have my coat. I do not take my coat in the closet. Actually, I leave my coat there, ready to leave. I am a person that is always ready to leave, because in case of conflict, I just grab my coat, grab my purse, and I leave. I excuse myself and bye-bye. That is all. I do not argue. I do not discuss. I just leave. That is all. So I am like Dr. Jacqueline about that. I really, so that is the way.
Thank you very much, Reverend Lydia. So peacemakers within the family, I mean, this is a tall order, isn't it? You know, somebody that's compassionate, they have a high level of intuitive skills in terms of the emotional intelligence, where they feel and they want to make the status quo, they want to make it peaceful within their environment, not only for themselves, but for everyone there. And one of the things that I feel comes up is that they almost become invisible within that process. And if they become the peacemaker to such a great level that they could be taken for granted, and almost that burden of being taken for granted and being there and always making sure that they keep the calm and they keep the peace within the family, it might make them feel burdened to do that and almost unappreciated about their efforts, about not being noticed. What are your quick thoughts to share about what I've just shared there, Reverend Lydia? Because we're actually almost at the end of our show. I can't believe we're at the end of our show.
Well, when we are the peacemaker, we have to be able to answer the phone, because the thing is that they call us a lot. They have many things to say. They call us a lot. So we have to be able to listen. That is pretty much what we have to be able to do. Listen, be good listeners.
So to finish off our topic, I want to cover just briefly some of the traits of a peacemaker. They have a moral purity, and that's what we've been sharing, that there is a moral purity of their intervention to keep the peace, and they're open to reason, and they become impartial and sincere in their impartiality. They're willing to be patient and willing to go the extra mile for not only their inner peace, but everybody else's inner peace. So just drawing that to a conclusion, being the peacemaker is a gift, and it is also a burden. Tonight's conversation, it's about harmony doesn't have to come at the cost of your own well-being. Breaking the cycle takes awareness. And when you step into a place of awareness and courage and compassion, self-compassion, we heal ourselves. We create healthier family dynamics for generations to come. Thank you for joining us for this important conversation. We hope that we've inspired you to embrace your own healing journey, to rewrite your role within your family story. Before we go, let's do share, please, Reverend Lydia, your contact details, how people can contact you should they wish to reach out for your services.
They can telephone at 1-514-582-6882 on WhatsApp, or text me. There is no problem. They can write to me at greatdivinemother@gmail.com. They can reach me through Facebook also. So they can reach me in many, and as a country manager for USA Global TV and radio, if they want to host a show, be a guest, either in English or French, they can join me, and I will help them to make their dream possible. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. What an amazing show it's been. Very insightful. It goes so quickly when we enjoy and really explore the topic. And there was so much to share. I think we need a part 2 of this particular topic. Thank you so much, Reverend Lydia. It's always, always delightfully pleasurable to have you as part of the panel and to share the conversation. And a massive thank you to Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck for all of her insightful impromptu shares. I didn't even know she was going to come in. She said she might, but the impromptu shares have been incredibly helpful and inspirational. Thank you so much, Dr. Jacqueline. So we have been talking and exploring breaking the cycle from family peacemaker to self-healer. You've been listening to Caroline Heward. I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I'm also the resident therapist of USA Global TV and Radio. You can reach me on email, nomorestress@live.co.uk, or call me if you're international +44. If you're local, 07523 120 189. You can follow and connect with me on social media. That's LinkedIn and Facebook. And if you wish to see any of the other shows, please do check out the channel USA Global TV and Radio and search for A Woman's Prerogative. This show, which is once a week, every week on a Monday at 7 p.m. British Summer Time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Please download our app, USA Global TV and Radio, and be part of the global family, bringing hope, education, inspiration through storytelling. It's available on Amazon Fire, Roku, Android, Apple TV, TikTok, X, and so much more. It's been my absolute pleasure to be on the show tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And now over to our sponsors. Thank you very much, everybody here. And just a quick shout out to our people and our viewers on E360 TV. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week. And now over to our sponsors.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged, when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive? And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the listening mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacqueline.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life, one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor. Start your journey today. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting. We're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.